Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my Summerlin South videos. I have a whole lot of them. If you're looking for any of the villages in Summerlin South, or if you even just want to know what Summerlin South is, you've found the right videos to look at. Go ahead and watch this one and watch the others. I'll have little tags up here that'll give you the videos that I also have for Summerlin South. But this one we're going to do is the Willows today. We're at the Willows, and when you think Willows, I want you to think central, because the Willows is a very central location in all of Summerlin, let alone Summerlin South, and it just is a hub. It was a really well-planned community. It has almost every type of home you could think of, whether it's luxury all the way down to just a two-bedroom nice one-story home, or even a nice two-bedroom single-story home that's just modest but in a beautiful upscale area. We also have senior living at Carefree in the Willows, which is of course a 55 plus senior living community. What else is here? Well, I'm standing in the park. This is Spotted Leaf Park. This is one of two parks that are in here. We have schools as well directly in the neighborhood. If you want your kids to go directly to a elementary school right across the street from your house, you could do that. How about churches? We have Temple Beth Shalom. That's a big church right over here. So if you're looking for that type of a church, you have that. What else do we have? Well, again, centrally located means you're right outside of downtown Summerlin, which is really the center of Summerlin. And the freeway is located right there. So you're lickety split off the freeway into your neighborhood very, very quickly. Shopping, yeah, you want shopping, very close. So centrally located, that's what's important here. We really want to think about the central location. I'm going to give you more details as I go. I'm going to drive you around the neighborhood and show you some of the properties that are in this community. What do you say? Want to see some more? I got another park to show you. How about that? So as promised, I'm bringing you over to the other park, which is Willows Park over here. This park's pretty simple, but it's really amazing in this way. Because if you are living right over here or right back here or anywhere surrounding in this park, your kids could be coming and playing on these two ball fields here. There's a small playground right up in there. But this beautiful park is central to this part of the Willows. There is an elementary school right here. This is Ober Elementary School. This is a public school. There's also around the corner a private school for elementary, which is Faith Lutheran. You got a lot of options for your kids here. This pathway, this park kind of goes up and through here and goes into the neighborhood. If you live in here, again, this is just such a sweet little spot for families. Summerlin South is all about family, in my opinion. That's the way it was all designed. Summerlin, period, is the reason why you hear all of our sports people that have been coming into town talking about how they love it here. I mean, I just recently heard Bruce Cassidy, the coach of the Vegas Golden Knights, talk about how amazing Summerlin is. He's only been here a year, but he did win a Stanley Cup, that's right. But he talks about Summerlin like it's one of the greatest things that he's ever seen. It is pretty awesome, I have to agree. And as I walk through here, I yearn for a home that would be right over here. That would be great. Again, folks, everything you could want right here inside the Willows. And very centrally located. So right on the outside of this, these are the boundaries over here. We have Sahara to the north where downtown Summerlin is, okay? Beautiful, and then you have the freeway right there. And then you have Desert Inn to the south and the 215 freeway, which yes, gets right off over there. You got multiple places actually you can get off on that freeway and end up over here in the Willows. And then to the east you have Hualapai. So this whole area is all the Willows. And that's why I want you to think central, because it is very centrally located especially for Summerlin South. Overall, just in Summerlin, that's about as center as you can get. When I think about center, by the way, I think of being centered. This centers your family, this centers your soul living in this area. Too much? I don't think so. It's real. I'm starting over here at the elementary school that is right in the Willows. We're gonna pass by the Willows Park, which I'm also showing you. So just to give you an idea of how close everything is, how sort of centrally located everything is, that is the point that I'm making here. I'm gonna dive into some neighborhoods. This area is really large, so showing you the entirety of the Willows would take quite a while, but we're gonna fast forward through some parts as I drive, just so you can get an idea of where things are. But if you were living in this neighborhood, let's just say, this street is called Solace Peak, and this is Desert Willow. As you see throughout Summerlin, and especially Summerlin South, you come upon a park as soon as you drive into these neighborhoods. If you're living right here, first of all, your HOA is right across the street. They actually have a whole building for it, so that's how big the Willows are. But if you were living right in this neighborhood, you could go right across the street to the school. Your kids could walk or ride a bike or a skateboard or rollerblade. I don't care how they get there, right? They're just gonna get there real easy. Then they have that beautiful park there. So if your kids are into Little League, got the baseball happening there. So as I go through here, on the other side of this would be Hualapai, and that's a boundary of the Willows. What's interesting is the Willows actually has a major street going through it because it's so large. So you have a freeway to the west of it, which has really high walls. So even if you were living right near that freeway, you're not gonna really even know it's there, as they've built high walls to cover that sound and any view of that freeway. Then you'd go east from there to Town Center, which I'll show you. It kind of, Town Center splits the Willows in half, and then you have Hualapai. So to have a major street going through a village tells you how large the village is. It's a big one. Some of the older villages in Summerlin were the largest. They sort of started making them a little bit smaller as time went on. You'll notice we have a lot of roundabouts, and in the roundabouts here there are willow trees, actual willow trees. Most of the trees you see around here are mesquite trees, the ones that line the streets. They grow very well out here in Las Vegas, but the willow trees are in the middle. That is Willow Court over there. That's a gated community that you can get into. And then we're gonna go upon Heather Glen up here. Up to the right of me, for the young kiddos, that's Faith Lutheran. Faith Lutheran Academy is what it's called. So now we're at Town Center and Desert Primrose. We're gonna go across the street. That continues on to be the Willows Village. All right, we're crossing Town Center on Desert Primrose and heading over here. We're gonna hit this first neighborhood at Willow Springs. Kind of give you just a sense of what's over here. It might seem like you're, deja vu, because they all have this kind of park right when you come in. Very cool, nice. I believe half of this community is two-story and the other half is single-story. So a lot of the neighborhoods would be mixed with, single-story, two-story. Over here in this one, they have designated half of it for the two-story homes and half of it for the single-story homes. These homes are relatively modest. I'd say you're going to be looking at 1,400 to 2,200 square feet in this community, maybe a little larger. All right, let's check out the single-story side here. A lot of the Willows was started in the early 2000s or late 90s. That's what you're going to find. Many of these homes, especially these one-story homes that are coveted, have been remodeled on the inside. The exteriors don't get as much remodeling because the HOA kind of says you got to keep a certain look. So you know, you're not going to see that you're coming in here and finding that they've went over the top modern on the exterior, because it's kind of got to match the neighborhood. But the interiors have definitely been, many of them have been remodeled. And of course there are some touches that you can make on the outside. I think I've seen some nice modern gates that on these courtyards that really make it look cool. All right, so a quick view of this neighborhood. We're gonna pop on out. I am gonna show you a neighborhood called Willow Creek. This is the luxury homes. This would be the luxury home neighborhood in the Willows. Not a lot of folks realize that that one's there, but it is nice. They do have some high-end homes there, and definitely homes that have been remodeled to the bone, really modern, and of course some that are probably in need of that because of the age that they, or because of the year that they were built. As we come up here, you'll see the Willows in the Willows. A lot of willows in these little roundabouts that you'll see. These streets are tree lined with mostly mesquite trees. I believe that's what we're looking at here when we see those. I'm gonna just show you, this is where I started over here at this park. The park has just an absolutely stunning background. A lot of people come here and do their jogging and exercising. I often come here for, you guessed it, that tennis court right there. Shocker. It's a decent court. Right across is going to be that neighborhood, Willow Creek, that we'll get into. I've made a special appointment for a client to get into that one, so that's how I'm gonna go into that neighborhood. That past one up over here that I wanted to show you, that's Kingsway Ridge. And this one's kind of cool because it has this park, but it also goes straight on through. And I believe this is all single story in Kingsway Ridge. You might be able to find a little bit of a smaller home here, up to probably about 2,000 square feet in here. Maybe a little bit larger. And this is where the boundary is for the Willows. And this is what I was talking about, having these retaining walls for the freeway. So you don't even realize freeway's right on the other side. I can barely hear it. I can barely hear it there. Actually, these tucked away little homes in this little cul-de-sac is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind being tucked away. As long as I don't have to hear that freeway, I'm good. So as you can see, as they've done these little cul-de-sacs to go up towards the freeway, which was smart because they don't have a whole bunch of homes that are just lined on the freeway. So you kind of minimize how many homes end up being against that freeway wall there. I think that's great. Smart planning. This area is ideal for remodeling a home and seeing your value continue to go up. I mean, Summerlin just really has quite a high ceiling for value. Not everyone can afford it here, and it's a shame because this is just the place you want to be, but it is also something to aspire to live here. And eventually, if you're working your way up, that's where you can be. Or if you're selling, if you've done really well and you're doing what a lot of people are doing, which is coming from another state, sold a big property, and you're ready to buy a property in Las Vegas, you'll find Summerlin to be reasonable, depending on where you're coming from. This is Glenbrook. Again, they really put a lot of flowers and trees into their little park there. Mix of 2-story and 1-story. Larger homes in this neighborhood, a little bit larger than what we've seen so far. I'm going to point out that this is the very first sign that we've seen in the Willows. It's not because they're not allowing signs to be put up. It's just there aren't that many listings. Right now in Las Vegas, July 2023, there's low inventory. So even though there isn't as much volume of sales, certainly volume of sales is down, and you'll see that because of interest rates. Not quite as much sales going on, but since there's such low inventory, and especially in places like this, the values are staying up. And I expect that to continue through the summer, maybe see some softening into the winter time. So if you're thinking of buying as we go into the end of the year and beginning of next year, that might be a good time to do so, depending on where rates are, or if you're using cash, well, it doesn't matter to you. Just use that cash and get a deal. That's what I say. So if you're looking for information like that, I have my channel, which you should know, has I do a weekly update as far as what's happening with the real estate market, and details that are important to you if you're at all interested in Las Vegas real estate. It will help you. The information I have will help you to make a better decision, a smart decision for your purchase or your sale. For example, right now, if you were looking to sell your home, I would say that's a good thing to get done during the summer and while there's low inventory. That's important those are conditions you want. You want low inventory when you're going to sell your home as a seller. This is Willow Creek. We're going to get into there. I'm going to save that luxury stuff for last. It is a guard-gated community, and I'm going to go this way because I want to show you what's just outside of the community after we go to Autumn Ridge. Autumn Ridge, we'll take a quick look in. I'll show you what's just outside of the community, because it's not just what's right directly in the Willows that makes it special. It's what's right around it, very close by. And we got a car in front of our park here, but you can see the park there. And this may be our all single-story neighborhood. Autumn Creek, I believe it is. So if you're looking for all single-story, which I really like, I like living in an all single-story neighborhood. It's great because although these ones that back to the neighborhood behind it are getting looked over by those 2 stories, the rest of them don't have, big houses looking and, sort of hulking over them. You're all equal here. Everybody's single story. And I just always love looking at the backdrop here when we see the ridges of Summerlin South. Oh, and speaking of, maybe you can zoom in on that. There's a nice big giant house there. I think that is the ridges. It's a nice house to have. Kind of rare in Las Vegas that you get to have houses up on a hill. We do have them, not a ton of them, and they're usually very expensive, high-end properties. Las Vegas is a valley, so you're not really looking at a whole lot of properties that are up on hills. There's limited areas where it was hilly at all. And some of those areas you just couldn't build up on this, as it slopes up there. Well, it wasn't safe. Not a smart idea, so they don't do it. Right across we got Bella Veranda. That's a gated, non-guard, it's not guard gated, but it's a gated community there. The one I'm going to take you into is going to be a guard gated community, so we'll skip the gated ones. And if you are interested in seeing them, if there's property here you want to see, then I can certainly show you that. I wanted to show you that the Alexander Dawson School is right across the street. This is another private school. There's several of them in this area. Let's see, you have Faith Lutheran, and then you have Faith Lutheran Academy, you have Dawson School, you have Bishop Gorman, and not too far, but in more of the North Summerlin, original Summerlin area, you have the Meadows. All the kids, all the cool kids go to these schools. If you're looking for the creme de la creme of the private schools, I'm going to say Meadows is going to be your spot. Yeah, you know, where you're going to have all the famous people sending their kids. All right, so as we come down here, we have one of the churches in the area. This is Temple Beth Shalom. So that's what's right there. Now we will cross back over on Town Center to the right, which I'm not going to show you any of it, but it's there. We have Carefree Senior Living. So we are at Crown Ridge. You can come right in, and these properties, this is kind of cool. It's got a park over here, a park over here as you come in. All single story throughout Crown Ridge. Got some cool courtyards here. Some people have decided to put up the gates on them, which I think is cool. You know, for security purposes, it's not as if you have a lot of crime around here, but I think it's smart to have sort of guard your front door. That's just me. You know, I don't care where you're living. I like to be able to open my front door and not feel like I'm going to have somebody jump right out at me. That's just me. But this is very cool. They have this. See, that looks great. It's a great look. And then you've got that there where they put the gate in the courtyard. They put the gate in the courtyard. Something to notice is that there are not a lot of 3-car garages in the area, but we have them in this community. So 3-car garage are going to be a little bit more rare. They are available, but not in big numbers. And as we're going through, you don't see a lot of real estate signs in this area. Not a lot for sale. Yeah, welcome to the State Flower. These orange cones are Nevada State Flower. I am going to come back up through here and just show you some perimeter stuff that is around the Willows. I want to take you to where you would go to the freeway and where you would go to downtown Summerlin. Okay, so now I'm on Town Center. I'm heading north. By the way, I haven't mentioned there are walking trails that go all the way through here. So as I pass by, that's what I'm passing by there. A walking trail that go through the Willows community. So if you like to get outside and do things, well, this is your spot. We're coming back past Faith Lutheran Academy on the right here. I don't know if I got a lot of good video of that, but at least you get the idea of where it's at here. Desert Primrose and Town Center. Right outside of this community, because you have some of the coolest stuff in all of Summerlin. Just waiting for you to hang out in it. We're coming up here. This is Sahara and Town Center. Summerlin Center over there. I do have a video for Summerlin Center Village. Summerlin Center is really split in 2 parts. So you can learn about that on my video there. I'm going to do a new one as well. So I'll have some additional material and information on Summerlin Center. Since I did my last Summerlin Center video and downtown Summerlin video, they have built more apartments and condos in downtown Summerlin. The idea of downtown Summerlin has become like sort of like a little city shopping mecca and sports mecca. You got a lot of stuff that happens right over here, and that's where we're headed. Of course, Sahara being a main thoroughfare through Las Vegas, it'd be nice to have a freeway real close by, right? Well, you got one right up here, so we'll check that out. To the left, that's all Willows. And I'm coming up to Pavilion Center. That is going to be downtown Summerlin. Right across the street, you can just cross the street and be in downtown Summerlin. And this is important because if you like baseball, if you like hockey, if you like shopping, if you like going to Red Rock Casino to play a little poker, all of these things can be done in a heartbeat from here. Lots to come. I'll definitely do more on downtown Summerlin. I'm going to do a more detailed downtown Summerlin video, exactly what's in downtown Summerlin. And finally, I'm going to show you just how close we are to the freeway, to the 215 freeway, which gets you everywhere in Las Vegas. Just about. I mean, yeah, it gets you everywhere. Maybe it doesn't quite go everywhere, but you'll get wherever you want to go from the 215 freeway. So right there, that's all Willows. Here we are, 215 north. You can go right or left, depending where you want to go on the 215. And obviously that is very, very close to the Willows, as well as what I'm about to go to. This is the other half of Summerlin Center on my right, and Red Rock Country Club on the left. That's some driving around, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I got more to tell you about, so stick around. Alrighty. Welcome to Willow Creek. I'm going to show you around here. I'm just leaving a listing I showed in Willow Creek here. To my left is the front gate, and we are actually going to enter this first neighborhood, which is called Heritage Glen. And you'll see what type of homes are in here. A lot of these homes have had a lot of upgrades, and they've managed to look fairly modern on the exterior for the age of the home. And you'll see these big trash bins around here a lot because they're doing none other than a lot of updating on these homes. In the Willows, Willow Creek, of course, you live in a little cul-de-sac like this. I believe these homes would be semi-custom homes here throughout this part of the neighborhood. All right, so let's go down a little bit here so you get a quick idea of this neighborhood. A lot of lush landscaping. Really nice. These would be where you're going to find all the largest homes in the Willows. Now, the home I toured, a lot of these homes have three-car garages. The one I toured was a two-car garage, and in place of the third car was another bedroom. And that bedroom, I could definitely see, it would take a little doing, but you could build it. You could have a bathroom built in there, and then you could have almost like a casita. You could basically build a casita if you run your water. So let's see what the interior streets in Willow Creek look like. What do you say? A lot of lush landscaping in here, which actually for the Willows is an exception. You don't see a lot of the grass in the streets as much. In here you do. Lots of grass. great. When we come back by, you'll see this side has a park that goes through and a trail. This does too. And of course, what I always want to see, which is tennis courts. I have not played on those tennis courts. That's rare. We're gonna go into Wood Glen here. Again, another semi-custom neighborhood. I think that's what they were throughout Willow Creek. Large homes, semi-custom, customizable at the time. I like this home ahead. It's kind of got an interesting exterior. I'd probably maybe make it a little bit more seen without, but the neighbor's vegetation kind of covers it up. Guess you can't ask the neighbor to chop their stuff down. I mean, you could, but can't expect them to do it. And as you can see right down there, ahead you have, that's town center there. Right, so you get a good idea of what's in Wood Glen as far as the exteriors are concerned. A nice little tour of the luxury neighborhood inside of the Willows. We're going to have one more stop here, one more before we go back through to get to the front gate. And once again, you'll see more trash bins. This is Eden Ridge. The one area I'm not going to show you, there is another, some of these guard gated areas have double gated. So they're guard gated and then you have a secondary gate so that people like me can't come in and do filming around the neighborhood. Of course, trash bins. I think this one is all single story over here. Very nice. I like the exteriors, some of the modern touches that have been done. These trash bins are a significant sign of what's happening. A lot of remodeling, a lot of updating on the interiors. This is an area that's absolutely worth doing that. And this is the type of neighborhood that I wouldn't worry so much, or wouldn't really be as concerned to have my gate on my courtyard, but people still do it. But you see some of them don't worry about it. I mean, I guess it's nice to have a private courtyard regardless, right? And somebody's getting delivered a car. Sweet. Another trash bin. It's unbelievable. This neighborhood has more of these big bins than I've seen in one little area for quite some time. That's a pretty home. A lot of nice flowers there. Doing well for this time of year. Right over here, well, it's going to be hard to see, but I'll actually flip around and show you that you could, if you lived in one of these homes, you would be walking right through there to the park and maybe going and playing tennis. I wouldn't be upset about that. That pretty much concludes. We're going to take a quick drive out so you can see the other side that I was describing as I was coming in, and you can see the gate, because I didn't want to have my cameras on as I entered the gate. This front camera isn't as easily noticed as the one that's on the top of my car. There you go. That's a nice little park through the neighborhood. I believe that connects with an exterior part, but I'm not sure. And that Willow Falls was the only part that we didn't see, that we didn't tour in here. When they have that secondary gate, if I'm not showing a property inside there, then I'm not gonna try to sneak in there. But if you want to see a home in there, there are about, currently, this is July 23, 2023 that I'm filming this. There are currently maybe about 4 listings inside of this entire community, maybe. And here we are. There's your front gate. Wave to security, and we're gonna go on out. And what do you know, there's a willow tree with a roundabout. 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 I better take it easy. Better take it easy. Folks, I might be sitting on a lion, but I'm not lying when I talk about how awesome Summerlin South is and the Willows. So I hope you enjoyed this video of the Willows and Summerlin South. Remember, I have all the videos of Summerlin South on my website, LasVegasRealtor.com, and of course on my YouTube, Rob Howe Rockstar Realtor. That's H-A-U, because I'm all about houses and you. So thanks again for watching. Have an incredible day. I'll see you on the next one. Rawr! I ain't lying, folks, but he is.